Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to a spotlight on Viaducts, or Viaducts. It's somewhat of a recent block from thermodynamics, and it's a very, very nice block. It really revolutionizes how you get around your base and everything. Makes it really, really fun and really, really unique. There's not really any other mod that's like this, at least to my knowledge. So let's dive right in. In order to make your Viaducts, or Viaducts, it's just going to take a little bit of electrum and some hardened glass or fused quartz or hardened aluminum, any of those like hardened type glasses. I tend to use fused quartz or hardened glass depending on the pack that I'm in, and that's going to get you one of these untreated viaducts. Now if you place these down, these on their own are not going to do anything. You can't actually use these. They are only for crafting, so just a heads up on that. In order to actually make them usable, you're going to want to craft this this viaduct right here. Instead of the untreated, it's just the straight viaduct. And you're going to get that by pumping in Zephyrian Erothium in a fluid transposer, and that's going to get you this viaduct. Now in order to make this Zephyrian Erothium, you're just going to use that Erothium dust in a magma crucible in order to get that. And of course that's just niter, redstone, blitz, powder, and sand. And once you have your viaducts, you can just place these down, and we'll just run them out like this, and you'll right click them with a wrench, and that's going to make them open up like this. And then what you can do is you can just right click this, and it's going to open up this little GUI here. Now you can go in and you can configure it to say, like, we're going to call this here, and we're going to call this one there. Okay, and if you notice, we can actually put an item here as well if we want to kind of decorate it a little bit. I'll show you what you might use that for in just a second, but we can just click here and we can click there, and it's going to move us between these rather quickly. And if we do it in third person, you'll notice he's kind of like flying Superman style in these little viaducts, and it makes kind of like a good whooshing sound, if you notice. Really, really fun travel mechanic. And so, for example, over here I've got like a lava area. So, if I had a room dedicated to, say, lava storage or something, I might put this item, an item into that to kind of differentiate it at a glance. Like, oh, this is my lava room. I'll just click here instead of reading through all this. It just kind of gives you a little bit of customization to the viaducts and for your different connections and stuff. So if we wanted to, we could run this over. And I was actually testing this because I know when it was in beta, if you went through like lava, it would actually do damage to you. And I actually just covered this in my Sky Factory series. Let me turn it to dawn. And I incorrectly stated that lava, it affected you whenever you went through lava. But that's actually not the case. I'll just call that second place. And we'll call this one third place. Okay. And if you notice, we now have access to all of these little connections here. So we can click on here, we can go to the second place area, and it's going to zip us right over here. And third place, which actually has a drop, we drop and we're here. So kind of nice little setup. Now there is an additional mechanic that you can use for this. So let's come out here a little ways. Let's make sure this is all on the same Y level. We'll put our angel block down, and we'll just kind of bring this out a little bit here, like that. Okay, so there's these long-range viaducts and these long-range linking ones. Now in order to make these ones, the long-range makes 8 of them at once for just 4 pieces of copper and then 4 hardened glass. And these, you don't have to pump the Erothium into these, which these ones, if you want to make the standard ones, they make 4 at a time for the untreated. And then the long range linking you just take just a standard viaduct and then pump 1,000 millibuckets of resonant ender, which would be 4 ender pearls. And it actually does take a while, just for the record, to pump it all in there. It takes about a minute or so, quite a while compared to like the standard viaduct. But the way that this works is if we put down a long-range viaduct here, you see they'll connect to each other, but they won't actually connect to this standard viaduct. So what you have to do is you have to use a long-range linking. That one will connect the viaduct to the long range. And then what we can do is we can bring these out, and we'll just bring these all the way over to our little area that we set up over here. And then we'll put our long-range linking and then just our standard viaducts here and open this up. Now if I click on this right now, you're going to notice I have no destinations. But if I come over here and just right click on that little connection between the long range and the long range linking, you notice it changed and it says searching on side east linked to the coordinates. So now what we can do is it means that this long range linking is connected to that long range linking. And you can't actually bring these out. If you notice, if I connect that there, it's just going to jack it all up. So if you put down a long range line, it has to be a single line. It can't connect anywhere else unless you connect it here, and it can only connect to one long range linking. Otherwise it's going to mess it up. So this is for like long distances. I use it in my Sky Factory series now to connect between my different buildings because they're kind of split out and separated from each other. So now if we click on this, we have access to all those areas. So we'll call this new area, and we can zip on over to, say, the second place, and if you notice, it stops us right here. And in kind of actually a funny position too, but it has to charge up in order to send us through there. But if you notice, it goes fairly quick once it hits that. So if we want to go to the new area, it charges, and it takes 120 ticks, so you're looking at about 6 seconds that you're going to have to wait. Actually, it feels more like 7 or 8 seconds. But it does send us that distance fairly quickly. So it is really nice for spanning long distances. One other side note, if you have these long-range viaducts and you want to, say I've got, say I've got this set up right here, and I've got a viaduct, and, oh, that's untreated, my bad. Okay, you have this little setup here, and then you have these long-range viaducts. One other side note is you can't actually change the Y level. If you try that, you notice we end up with this really messed up thing. It has to stay on the same Y level. These long-range ones do. So if I wanted to, say, get up there, what I would have to do is I would have to bring this up and then use my long-range linking and then go into, say, oops, these standard viaducts. But now I would be able to connect these, open up that system, and that's already searched, okay, and it would all work out well. So now I can connect to that other side. It's going to charge us up here, and if you notice, you can't really turn your camera. It does that thing, and there we go. So just a heads up on that, but you can have separate long-range systems in the same system. So if I just wanted to connect, say, this over like that, I could do that. That's fine. And so now I can go to any of these places. We want to go to, say, the unnamed one. I don't know which one it is. Okay, it takes us up. And if we came over here and we wanted to go to the other unnamed one, that's fine. It's going to charge us up and shoot us through. And then if we wanted to go to the new area, which would take us through 2 of these long-range linkings, and it's just going to charge us up again and then shoot us through. Okay. And one last side note before I end out the video. Let's say you're in this and for some reason you decide you want to just jump out of this. You can actually do that. I actually don't want to be there. Let me call this, because I don't want to sit through all that waiting. Let's call this top. And we jumped in here. We want to go to the top, and we hit shift. It's going to knock us out of the viaduct, wherever we're at. So you can actually jump out of this at will, which could be dangerous. So, for example, let's actually go into survival mode for this. That'll be fun. No, that's adventure. Oops. Okay, so if I wanted to go to this, and then I jumped out, of course I'm on fire. Whoops. And I'm dead. Okay. And it's going to spawn us way over here. Okay. But yeah, as you notice, it's going to knock you out wherever you're at, regardless of the hazard or anything. So, just a heads up on that. But that shift and getting out of that is really nice, kind of useful at times. So, you know, that option's there as well. But anyway, that's pretty much covers the viaducts. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to let me know. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, as always, please comment, like, subscribe. It's very, very much appreciated. And until next episode, do take care, and I hope to see you then.